Hey everyone. So I've decided to do a fast tomorrow. It's always good when it comes around to the four solstice and equinox points to do a bit of cleaning, a bit of seasonal cleaning. And I've been in need of doing a water fast for a while since the juice fast that I did earlier this year that you may have seen from my juice fast series. I went 28 days. This time I'm looking at going 21 days, and it'll be a combination of juice fasting and water fasting. I'm not going to set all of the rules right now. Um, Leave it so that it's got a bit of room for maneuverability. I want to try and do as much water fasting as I can because I think I need to get into a state of autophagy and deal with a lot of problems in my body that have been left for way too long. But I'm also aware that I should be listening to my body, and if I need energy, I need energy. So I will listen to my body, and if need be, I will drink some fruit juice. But I'm going to be aiming to do 21 days, probably the first few days just doing juices to get into it, ease into it gently, rather than giving my body the shock of going from having delicious homemade curries to absolute nothing but water. And it's been interesting because the past couple of days have been trying to eliminate everything from the fridge, try and remove all of the foods that are going to go off and that my partner won't eat. So yesterday involved using the slow cooker to make a Indian style curry with a bunch of leftover root veg, mainly like carrots and parsnip and peppers, tomatoes, tomato sauce that I got from Sam from Imagine Freely Twin Flames went into it. The courgette and spinach, gem lettuce, about 6 onions, some garlic and ginger, some tofu. I done some chili fried tofu as well to go alongside it, which is a bit of a junk food meal, really. Other people consider tofu to be the protein replacement, which I don't think you really need it. I think it's just there to enjoy your food if you want to enjoy that flavor, that texture. Generally, cooked food is for enjoyment. The best food that you can have is raw. And I've proven this to myself many times. It doesn't mean that I always eat just raw food. It's You can know the truth and not walk the path of the truth. It's good to at least test the waters to see what you make of it because each of our individual journey is different. I find that for me, it's fasting. Fasting is number one, and there's only so much that I can do because I'm usually always on the go, always working, always active. So I'm going to take this opportunity, especially as it fits in to the astrological calendar, as a good time to fast. Also, notice that tomorrow is a new moon in Sagittarius, which represents the body. The new moon represents the end of a cycle, start of a new cycle. So this will be a new beginning, starting a month's cleanse nearly. It'll be a 21-day fast, mainly water, doing my best to reach that stage of autophagy where I clean up the body. So I didn't notice that before making the decision. That was a nice bonus. The amount of food, however, that was left over today that is now cooking in the slow cooker is severe. I mean, I'm going to have to be quite loose with this start of the fast. I'm not going to be starting first thing tomorrow morning. Otherwise, I'll be up all night eating Thai curry. And I don't like throwing food away, so I think it'd be nice for having that freedom to just turn and say, I, the start date is tomorrow. All I'll be eating is the remainder of the food that I've cooked today. Once that's gone, it will be maybe a couple of smoothies, then just fruit juice and water. Say a couple of fruit. I have one persimmon that will make one smoothie. Then after that, it will be nothing but fruit juice and water. We may get some grapes, do a day of grapes. a day of oranges, and hopefully, if I can find them, a day of watermelon, as these are very good for drawing out all of the impurities in your body and then flushing them away. The watermelon's good for being hydrated. And after that, it's a healing adventure. Something that obviously to look forward to going without things is a bit of a strange one. For me, it's looking forward to what the effects are going to be. Since the first time I'd done a fast and realized that your body does do a lot of healing when you give it time, feeling the benefits. I went from having problems that were recurring problems with this arm. I used to use it while making fence panels to flip over the feather edge boards, and I used to get really bad tendonitis to the point where I was prescribed naproxen, which was a very powerful anti-inflammatory, and I used to have to take it whenever it got bad. It would get to the point where I move my wrist and I hear creaking and feel creaking in my forearm. Ever since doing the fast, never had a problem with this. I've got rid of so many health problems. There was a pain in my side which I had that was encouraging me to go the distance on the first fast I did, and it was a very painful week, plus numerous other days throughout the 80 days where it would just start playing up again. The problem wasn't entirely dealt with. After the 80 days, I had stopped passing solids in the toilet, so decided to end the fast and start refeeding. But I didn't do extended water fasting, and I think the longest I've been is 6 days or 5.5 days on just water, and that was earlier this year. And when I done that, I felt the pain return, meaning that there is definitely something still not right in there, in that area. It was exactly the same area. So I'm hoping now I've got a bit of time, should be able to deal with it. And that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to, I guess, again, weird. I'm looking forward to feeling the pain and then feeling it heal. Yeah, like I don't take painkillers. I enjoy cannabis, but not painkillers. No, that's a form of painkiller, but the thing I liked about cannabis is the muscle relaxant plus the spiritual mind expansion. The painkiller for the sake of taking something to relieve your pain, I think it's better to stay with the pain, as your body will know what area needs working on. I don't like to shoot the messenger. And it'd be interesting doing this 3 week fast from tomorrow, as I won't be smoking any cannabis. And that will be the 21 days, will be the longest that I've gone in many years, possibly since I was 14. I did go through periods where I stopped buying it and stopped smoking every day. But within a week or two, I would bump into someone that I hang out and smoke with, and they would have some. So I would have just ended up smoking again. I don't think I've ever been longer than 11 days without. So now this will be an interesting push to 21. And then it'll get me ready for next year, which I'm hoping to do Lent, which will be 40 days or 46 days, really. But the way that Lent works is you give up something like, for kids, it would be sugar. And for adults, it could be spending time on the phone, or something that would be considered a bad habit, or smoking, drinking alcohol. For me, I like to do a fast, so I'll give up all food and just stick to juices during the week. And then on Sundays, what you'd have is a relaxed day where whatever you've given up, you would be able to have. Say, if you were abstaining from meat, then you would have a Sunday roast. And that would be something that was part of the tradition. You'd have the 6 Sundays where you relax it. So over the 46 days of which you're doing the fasting for Lent, 6 of those days you're actually given a break. I'm planning this year to do juices and smoothies throughout the week, and then on the weekend be able to eat fruit. So not much of a difference, but just helps get some extra fiber in the system rather than completely depleting the gut microbiome. As after doing this fast, I don't think I'm going to be needing to do that. And I realized that giving up cannabis for Lent, which is 46 days, it means that I would be able to just do it on Sundays and it would only be 6 days apart breaks. But even though it's allowed, doesn't mean that I have to do it. So I'll go under the guise that if I'm struggling, then yeah, Sunday I can have a smoke. But I won't aim to. I still aim to do the full 46 days without. And I don't think it's going to be too hard, to be honest. It wasn't hard doing 11 days. I think maybe the hardest thing is finding a reason to. So I don't feel like there's ever really that much weighing, apart from the cost. Cost is a good reason to. Otherwise, everything else seems to be a benefit, depending on how it's used and how often. It should be interesting because 46 days, but also Ramadan is before Lent next year. So I won't be smoking from sunrise to sunset, as I'll be trying to incorporate the Ramadan fast again this year. Thought it was fun last year. It's a nice cleansing period of the day where you get to put yourself into a completely different mindset, experience things through the eyes of people that are suffering and still trying to go about their day. It's like if you do the Ramadan fast, you're going from sunrise to sunset without eating or drinking, and you feel hunger pains and your throat gets dry. And often it's during the hot seasons, although luckily it's in February, so quite cool next year. When it's during the hot seasons, it can get very difficult to keep your temper. You have to be establishing connection with God at all times. No music, no swearing, no backbiting, no negative vibes. Just everything has to be kept on a level. When you're attempting something like this, it is eye opening. It really gives you an idea of what other people are going through sometimes. Uh, Before I attempted it for myself, I never really understood what it felt like. There's lots of benefits, but it is also a massive test of endurance. It's a big test for your mind. A lot of people can't imagine going for longer than 3 meals without eating. Just doesn't compute. For me, it felt a little bit strange when I first heard of the concept of it. Going for a few weeks without eating, I thought you died. I was like, you can only last 3 weeks without food, surely. I didn't see things like apple juice as food. I remember getting angry when I first got into vegetarianism and I was thinking of getting vegan food instead. I was thinking of maybe getting away from animal products, and I'm looking around. This was in the co-op that was near the place I was working at the time. I'm looking at their sandwiches, getting angry that they've got those sandwiches there for vegans. And right behind where I was standing was a giant row of fruit. It's a big section full of fruit. I was there the whole time. The answer sometimes is right under your nose. Sometimes it's behind you, just facing the wrong way. So yeah, the next maybe 24 hours, maybe less. By the time the slow cooker's finished, it will be around 11 p.m. here in the UK. And that'll be an hour to eat before it hits midnight, in which this will be the start of the new moon. Then I'm going to eat until the pot is finished, rather than staying up all night to eat a giant pot of Thai curry, to stuff myself, make myself ill. I'd rather not stuff myself and I'd rather not waste the food, so I'm going to have tomorrow to finish off that pot. So yeah, last time I was doing daily videos that were updating people on how the fast was going. This time I think I'll try and post shorts or something to keep updated as a way of keeping the daily videos going, and then invest a lot more time into the big videos, which will be 20 minutes to a half an hour long. I think if I could focus more attention onto the bigger videos, then should be able to put out a lot more content. And it'll make it easier for me because sometimes I end up writing these things and then sit them on the sidelines. And then I start writing another video and I go to mention something about what I'd put in a previous video and realize that you haven't seen it yet because I haven't made it yet. And it kind of ruins the point that I was trying to get to. To me, in my head, you've all seen a lot more than I think you have. In my head, you've all a lot more up to speed. In my head, you've all seen a lot more than you think I have. What? Have. In my head, you've all seen a lot more than you've all really seen when you're not in my head. That was confusing. Maybe that's enough internet for one day. And thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more.